You're watching iRacing on the Ghostfire Media Network.
Welcome everyone to the Monster Mile Dover International Speedway for the 15th week of the AOLL Cup Series. I'm Josh Laston, and I've got Carl Henderson next to me.
Hey everyone, I'm excited to be here. This is gonna be hopefully a very smooth race. We got 125 laps here, so I'm hopeful that it's going to not be a lot of cautions tonight. We'll have to see. Big storyline for tonight, though. We don't have Blake Gordon this week.
Yeah, we are going to be short the AOLL's resident alien. He's out on vacation and hopefully enjoying himself, but if we end up with Justin Anderson taking over the lead in points this week, he may not be enjoying the day too much.
You know, I'm honestly not sure that Blake Gordon enjoys doing anything other than racing.
And you know what? That's probably true. He does love it. He spends a lot of time running these cars, and you know what? I don't blame him. It's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we're going to be missing him tonight. We're actually going to be also missing Mr. Joe Dinsmore. So, we've got some of our bigger personalities missing tonight.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty small field overall. It looks like 4 drivers, and it looks like we've got qualifying starting.
I was going to say, let's go ahead and watch a few guys making their trips around. We'll start with the man who is trying to take over the points lead this week, Mr. Justin Anderson. And
yeah, Justin's running really low here. That's a typical line you're going to take, low on the exit. I mean, this is about as straightforward a track as you can. There's no tricks here.
Well, and just as we do that, Justin sets the fastest lap, and let's see if maybe all that work you did made it to where the tower will work for us today.
Unlikely.
We're going to see. And actually, it just did what it's supposed to. So, Justin Anderson is actually our leader right now with a 21.96. And the story for the past 3 weeks has been Joshua Hanner, who just joined the league and won his first 3 races.
Yeah, he's trying to make it 4 in a row here. There's been some talk about the fact that he will not make it 4 in a row. And honestly, I mean, he's been very open about the fact that he is not crazy about Dover here tonight. He's also said that he's not crazy about next week's track of Circuit of the Americas.
I will agree with that after having tried to help him learn it yesterday.
He was angry.
It was not a fun track to run, and I'm actually, despite that, looking forward to getting to see these guys run, because we get to see some faces towards the front that we don't normally get to see, because not everybody in the league is a road course master.
Yeah, and honestly, I hate that I'm going to miss that race, but I will tell you what, after running Circuit of the Americas, which is the track we're running next week, after running with you guys, I am pretty confident in my Hyundai accent run that track faster. These cars do not handle well at all on that track.
So, as we stand, Justin Anderson is sitting in first with Joshua Hanner, Kevin Pearson in third, Brian McFerrin in fourth, Brandon Bernhardt fifth, and then, of course, right as I say that, Johnny Edwards decides to throw out a flying lap and move himself into fifth, and pushing everyone back. But the one thing we have to keep in mind here is this is called the Monster Mile for a reason. It's high banking, it's short, but it is fast. We're seeing guys coming through with top speeds, 185.
Yeah, and the big difference here with a lot of other tracks, this track's concrete. Like, a lot of tracks running asphalt. This is a concrete surface.
And that's going to play into one of the bigger things that we're going to have to keep an eye on tonight, is the tires.
Yeah, I think, we have a new pole.
I was just, after we talked a little bit about tires, Mr. Steve Gottschalk has taken over that first position, and we've been waiting to see his name at the top of this list for quite a while. He's one of the veterans of the league. He's been quietly lurking towards the back.
Hey, and he's the defending champion.
I do not actually remember that, unfortunately. But
I believe he was. I hope I'm not making that.
But this is one of those tracks that skill is definitely going to come into play, and experience. High bank turns, very fast. The entries to the turns aren't exactly the smoothest. There's a bit of a hump coming out of 2 and 4 that if you're not careful and you're a little gung-ho, we're definitely going to see a little bit of spinning coming out. So let's go ahead and bring up our grid for the day. In first, we've got Steve Gottschalk. Second, Justin Anderson. Third, Josh Hanner. Fourth, Kevin Pearson. Fifth, Brian McFerrin. Sixth, Johnny Edward. Seventh, Dan Shirley. Eighth, Brandon Bernhardt. Ninth, Tony Pandey. 10th, William Klingbeil.
All right, and 11th, we have Johnny Downing. 12th, Randy Pepper. 13th, Ed Springer. 14th, Rick Kohler. 15th, Kevin Haas. 16th, Adam Wood. 17th, Don Warnke. 18th, Andrew Burgess.
Your button's not working. There we go.
Oh. 19th, we have Ross Gage. 20th, we have Jason Swan. 21st, Peter Norquay. 22nd, Timothy St. Jean. 23rd, Mike Burgess. And 24th, John Gordon.
So we're definitely going to see, it is a bit smaller of a field than we have been seeing. Some of our newer guys apparently are not making the appearance tonight, but we will actually get to see, hopefully, them make a return come next week. Because we are missing Sean Hayes as well. And unfortunately, I was looking forward to seeing him on a track. We've seen him in the TNT. These are his bread and butter.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Sean Hayes, I really expected to see out here tonight. I feel like would have been a really good track for him.
But as we see these guys getting themselves to the green, I'm not sure if this is a 2 to green kind of track or if this is a 1. I'm going to assume it's a 1 because it looks like the lights on the pace car are off. But that could just be my view.
It's kind of one of those in-between tracks. Yeah, it's sort of in-between. Like, I never, Dover's not a short track. It drives kind of like a short track, but it's also got really high banking. It's concrete. It's one of the more unique tracks on the circuit.
And again, I'm looking forward to this as, looks like the pace car is going to be peeling off already. And we are about to go green with Steve Gottschalk taking us to the flag.
Let's have a good few clean laps here at the beginning, boys. Let's have a good race, guys.
I'm hoping we can make it at least only 2 cautions tonight, as they are off, and Steve Gottschalk doesn't get a great jump over Justin Anderson, but definitely over Joshua Hanner, to where we get to see Kevin Pearson drop in front of him, and that lower line is going to be the preferred line.
Yeah, Hanner did not get going there at all. You would have expected him to build a whole third there at the very least, maybe take second, but he has fallen to 4th here.
Well, but he is getting ready to fight on Kevin Pearson. But Steve Gottschalk has been a little bit slow, and Justin Anderson gets out in front of him.
Yeah, we know Justin's good at, really any track we run at. I mean, we talk a lot about the fact that Blake Gordon is the alien, but, I mean, Justin has given him everything he wants right now. I mean, you talk about a guy here who's probably going to take the points lead with this race as long as he has a decent race. I mean, Justin has been incredible this season.
There's no doubt that until we get to next week, which Justin's no slouch in road courses, he has been keeping pace with Blake on just about every track. And it's been a great fight unless one of them gets into trouble, which we got to see with Justin Anderson a few weeks ago. Yeah,
so, honestly, I'm a little shocked because a lot of times we have, a track like this, you'll have a few incidents early on, and then things will kind of get single file, guys are a little more comfortable. But, man, we've gone single file right here. Guys are just kind of trying to find their groove right now, and not really pushing it too hard.
No, as we see Kevin Pearson trying to take a little bit of that middle line, just keep Josh Hanner at bay, because the biggest thing on this track is going to be that drive off of the corners and making sure you have the momentum to keep it going.
Yeah, Kevin Pearson is a guy we have not seen running up front a ton. I mean, I know he's a very good driver, but he's just not been like one of the front runners. But man, he is fast tonight. He is running up
just
in 3rd position.
And of course, just as you say that, he tags the wall going into 1.
Broadcaster's curse.
Maybe I should move the camera off of him. And as Josh Hanner looks like he's about to try to throw one down the bottom line, but just not quite enough space there, and he just will sit in 4th.
Yeah, it looks like Joshua Hanner is the faster car right now. But for all we know, I mean, it looks like Kevin might be faster than Steve Gottschalk. Might be for tires right now. I mean, it's hard to say who's faster at this point in the race. So he's just trying to pace himself, but definitely at this point, it looks like Joshua Hanner is the faster car. He's trying to take that position.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like the legend of Randy Pepper has dropped into the pits and may have parked it for the day.
Oh, Randy. Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Well, that's what he gets for playing gigs all weekend. Probably a little bit tired and had too much fun before this point, because we know that's what he truly loves to do, is just...
I was about to ask, what does Randy want his career to be? Does he want to be a race car driver, or does he want to go off and play music? Like, come on, man. That's a joke, to be clear.
Oh, I know. He loves his racing, but we're seeing Joshua Hanner getting right back up on Kevin Pearson, to where he makes the slightest mistake, Josh is there and just ready to pounce.
Yeah, Hanner's got a fast car tonight. Had a bad start there. I hope that he's not just like turning his tires off right here. But yeah, it looks like he might have the inside here going into the turn.
Well,
not quite though.
Kevin is keeping that middle line to where there's not enough space and he gets a good run off the corners, but that has to be unbelievably frustrating for Josh Hanner as he actually gets a nose underneath, and it looks like Kevin just was being a gentleman and let him get around.
Man, that is such a respectful move right there. Just recognizing that the car behind you is faster. You can try to hold them off, but are you really going to hold them off for 111 more laps?
So I'm actually going to pull back as we're starting to see some action moving back here in the battle for 5th, as Tony Pandey makes a pass on Johnny Edward and sets a sights for Brandon Bernhardt. But we can't look away for too long because Brian McPherson and Dan Shirley are now waiting in the wings and part of this group. And they're about a second behind Kevin Pearson right now, but they're moving up on him.
Yeah, Brian McPherson has been faster the past few laps than Johnny Edward, and caution is out.
All right.
What is caution out for?
I could not tell you. It looks like Peter Norquay may have been involved in. It would have been Kevin Haas. So let's jump this direction. And, that was missed, as I actually kind of missed who was involved in that one. That looks like that was Mr. Brandon Bernhardt.
Yeah,
and of
nothing
course,
showed up on my timing and scoring for that. I'm going to try to see if I can...
I was going to say that, nope. I always forget who has the Tim Hortons car, and it's Peter Norquay. I should just look for that Canadian flag and try to figure that one out and be jealous that they have that. Oh, he just got into the tail end of Kevin Haas and sent him spinning. That's just a little bit of a rough moment for those guys, and yeah, the software just isn't wanting to recognize that as an incident, which is strange.
Yeah. I'm gonna guess they were spinning so quickly that the software's just like, they didn't restart.
But right now, Kevin Haas is running without a front end, which at this high speed of a track, he's gonna have to make in there. But there's no way his engine's gonna overheat.
I'm actually gonna disagree with you there. Like I think that I would not pit right now. Like, you've got one fast repair in this league.
He did make that dive in. Oh no, we're seeing just about everybody has made their way in right now. To where our new leader, Randy's back out on the track. I'm wondering if he just had some technical difficulties. Tim St. Jean, who missed the TNT race due to some technical difficulties, is our new leader.
Man, look at Tim.
I love seeing it. He's another one of the original members of the league, and there's no denying he's a great racer. But he's new to iRacing.
Look, he's scrappy, and that's one thing I appreciate here. Is like he recognizes the fact that he needs to get every single point he can. Is he actually shown in the lead right now?
According to me, yes.
Yeah, he's shown it. So he's going to try and get the bonus point here for lap lead, and he'll get that under caution here. So look. Every little point can possibly get you into the chase. A huge fan of this.
Yeah, he and Brandon Bernhardt. No, Brandon, according to mine, went into the pits. He only took
Brandon
fuel,
is showing
though.
not in the pit.
He only took fuel, though. His pit time was only 7 seconds.
You're right.
So Tim is the only person who did not come in there, and Brandon only took fuel.
I'm actually surprised that Tim didn't possibly just dip in on the second lap after getting a lap lead. He's going to see if he can hold some guys off. He's not trying to win the race with this strategy right here. I mean, the goal here is to, by the time the next caution comes out and everyone has to pit, that you will have gained more. You would have moved up in where you would have been. So I think it could work out for him. I don't know where he was before.
Am I missing something?
It was outside of the top 10. I think he was near 19th, 18th or something. So this could be a really good strategy for him.
It could. Unfortunately, we are deep enough into this race that his tires may be he could be a little bit of a liability for these guys at the front right now.
Oh,
Well, both
I
of the
that's
front
just,
row.
excitement.
Both in the front row, maybe. Because other than that, we didn't see much of a shakeup, except for Joshua Hanner lost a spot on pit road, which is how he actually won the last 2 races, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's see what happens here. You're right. I mean, I think the front row could potentially really hold these guys up. I mean, what Tim's going to have to hope for here is he gets a big-ass jump and just pull forward, and, then Brandon Bernhardt will really hold the people up.
He's off already and making a huge jump, and that gives Justin Anderson the time to get past Brandon Bernhardt, and that holds up that outside line. But
yeah,
it looks like as Justin's already passed him.
Oh yeah, Justin's going to get by here quickly, but this still works out well for Tim. I mean, this is solid. I mean,
as we have Mr. Hanner looking very racy right now, trying to get that lower line, and yeah, Tim did get the point for the laps led under caution, but we're 21 deep, which means caution came out probably around 16. And yeah, 16 laps is an eternity at Dover.
I mean, he's running lap times that are half second slower than the leaders. I mean and really slower than anybody in the field right now. I mean, look, I still don't fault the strategy at all, though. Like, I mean, he got his points. I mean, everyone's likely going to pit again at some point. They're going to pit. And then who knows what'll happen. So, like, don't think the strategy was bad. It's not a race-winning strategy, but go out there, try to get some points. Get what you can.
Right now, Kevin Pearson has the fastest lap of the race. And but he is currently in 3rd, but moving up on Steve Gottschalk.
Yeah, that last lap, there were 4 drivers. The top 4 had their personal bests of the race. But Kevin Pearson had the fastest lap of the race there. Crazy fast right now, 22.21.
And he's just biding his time. Staying a little bit high will keep his tires a little bit cooler and give him the good run out of the turns. But with Steve Gottschalk, he's definitely going to have something for him throughout the course of this race. I'm
trying to pull up some time deltas here and see if we can take a look at that.
I was going to say, I'm going to move a little bit back, as right now the best battle on the track is Johnny Downey with William Klingbill right on his bumper and Ed Springer. They are bunching up, and it looks like we may get to see some side-by-side action coming from this group well before anybody else. Because Ed Springer is right there on William Klingbill. Has to back off, but he was only about 1/10 of a second behind him at the time.
Yeah, some really good battling throughout the field. You're seeing some guys who might have some speed on a longer run. We're just going to have that long run right now.
William Klingbill is getting down below and makes the pass on Johnny Downey. But as we come into the front stretch, that outside line should be able to have a little bit more speed. But Klingbill makes the pass cleanly, but Ed Springer is coming in behind him, looking to take advantage of him getting thrown off his normal line. And Klingbill is not getting away nearly as quickly as I would have thought he would.
Yeah, he made that pass really quickly. I thought he was going to pull away here, but he's just kind of stalled out after he got past.
I'm going to move myself back up to the front as Kevin Pearson and Joshua Hanner. Josh Hanner is getting that low line on Kevin, makes the pass stick, gets in front of him, and now is going to set his sights on Steve Gottschalk.
Yeah, I mean, he's been running some really fast laps these past few laps. We saw Kevin have that really incredible lap.
As he tags the wall, and I'm going to move my camera off of him and prevent any more commentators' curses with him. just because I think he would appreciate that one.
I think Kevin is giving it everything he has right now, just pushing it to the limits, and you're going to tag the wall. You can do that.
Well, and we've only had one caution so far tonight, so unfortunately, I think these guys are going to have to start moving towards tire conservation and just hold on to what they have. As I'm going to go back, Tony Pandey is getting himself poised to take over Kevin Pearson and get himself up into 4th.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think, like, if you start thinking about tire conservation, like, you have to start considering pitting under green. Like, do I want to be the first person to pit under green? So they shouldn't be able to make it in fuel at this point. When do you want to pit? Like, how long do you stay out? Because there's always a chance for caution to multiple laps down. You don't want to have happen. Tony is about to get down into that low line, coming out of turn 4, gets the pass done, and should be able to make that one stick. Yeah, that was Kevin there once again, just being really respectful, realizing that someone else was faster, and understanding the fact that we are on lap 34 at 125 and not fighting super hard for position.
Well, what I want to bring up is Timothy St. Jean. Right now, he's just running his race. Unfortunately, he's back in 18th after leading, but this is a relatively long race. They do have a limited set number of tires. Him not taking those tires, if we start to see cautions towards the end of the race, he's going to be in a really good position to come in, get fresh tires over and over again, and be the person to beat because he's going to have fresh rubber.
Yeah, look, I mean, I've said this over and over again during the podcast, during races, like, if you're not a top 5 car, you've got to find an oddball strategy that nobody else is doing. And it might be one of those things where you end up, like, way in the back. But go out there, try to do something to get yourself a win. Like, I mean, if you're going to finish 18th, 19th anyways, like, don't worry about fighting for that position. Try to see if you can do some weird strategy to get yourself first, because it could play out like that.
So I want to come back here to Ross Gage, who's amongst a group of guys that are currently fighting. Unfortunately, we're seeing Peter Norquay, who's right behind him, is a lap down. But he's using that to his advantage. Oh, no, because Peter and Don Mornke, they're actually battling for position. But Ross Gage is coming up on Brandon Bernhardt, who is on the same lap, and this is the battle for 15th.
It's really tight racing right there, and actually we got Dan Shirley right now about to go around.
We're going to go ahead and do a little bit of a throw to a replay right there, as he does get down and
just cleanly passes. Like, look, I mean, Kevin, I've said this over and over. Kevin is running his race right now. He's not trying to fight, for every little position. Possibly wearing his tires out. Like, if guys are faster than him, let him go by, and if he's faster than them, he'll get it back in the end.
Yeah, and don't worry, Joe, we are watching the chat. We were getting to that one. But yes, Kevin, he does look like he's just saving his energy, tires, because we're going quite a distance into these stints. Granted, I'd like to see 50 laps and get some green flag pit stops in here. But Kevin just may be conserving his tires, waiting until everybody else has burned through theirs, and then be a half second faster than everyone because he wasn't pushing at the beginning of the stint.
Yeah, but it's absolutely a balancing act. Because all last season TNT Legend Series and now with the ARCA Series, up until like a race ago, I was focusing entirely on long runs, and I would have great speed, but I wouldn't have, I would give up so much time, off and letting people
as we see.
Oh,
Mike Burgess tag the wall and bring out the caution. So we're making it about a little over 20 laps per stint at this point, and the tires do fall off at about 10 if you push too hard.
Well, I'll tell you who I am confident is going to pit right now.
Tim?
And that is Timothy St. Jean, is the person I was confident. But yeah, him as well.
Well, again, now we're only making it, let's go with a rule of averages, we're making it a little over 20 laps. These guys at the front, if they keep pitting, they're going to run out of tires. As we'll go to our leader who's caught up to the pace car, and let's see if people make that dive. And it looks like they are.
Yeah, no surprise there at all.
Yes, pretty much everybody should be making their way in. I don't think there's going to be a single soul that's going to be brave enough to make their way out. And, of course, Mr. John Gordon, I don't know if he may have missed the pit lane, but John's staying out, and he's going to take over the lead for the time being. And he seems to be... Mr. Jason Swan has stayed out. Mike Burgess has stayed out. But John's another one of those that he will actually take and try to throw out that weird strategy. And unfortunately, both of us have seen, at the expense of a win, that take and be the right strategy.
Yeah, I mean, you got to try it. Like, I've been the first person to say, like, you know, if you have a top 5, even top 10 car, like, go out there, run your race, like, get your top 10, top 5, whatever. But if you're further back in the field and there's an opportunity to, like, do some weird strategy that, you know, let's say you have a 15th place car and there's 18 cars.
As John's diving in now.
Yeah. But you take your chance. Like, you may finish, you know, 18th. That's your worst case scenario. You're a 15th place car. Like, give it a shot. See what happens.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with doing any of that, especially since we're on track for 5 cautions tonight. Which, honestly, seeing that we're at Dover, the different surface, the speed of this track, I'd be okay with 5 because it's not an easy track. And honestly, it's going to give all of those people that have done the odd pit strategies a chance to really shine. Because we now see Timothy St. Jean, he's in 15th. He was running 18th. He's got fresh tires, just like everybody else, and he's up 7 spots from where he started.
Yeah, so here's my bold pick of the night. I think we're going to go caution-free for the rest of the race.
I would be very much okay with that. But I also think that at that point, we may also see Mr. Justin Anderson just run away with it. Because every time he's been in that lead, he pulls out a 1.5 second gap and then just maintains.
Well, yeah, but, you know, look, Justin is not someone who's bad at... I'm not in any way saying that he is, but we don't know on an extended run, like, is he going to be the guy that is going to be the fastest on a super long run? Or is it going to be someone like Steve Godstone? Or is it going to be someone like Joshua Hanner?
Or we could look at Kevin Pearson, who's obviously not had the pace at the very beginning. But
well, look, here's someone else we haven't talked about a ton this season. Tony Pandey running there in 4th. Tony Pandey might be really good on a long run.
And he's one of those that we don't talk about because he's not fighting for the lead, but he's always fighting for that top 5. And I would love to see him pull out a podium because I'd love to chat with him. But as the pace car is about to peel off, we got Justin Anderson up front with Steve Gottschalk to his outside and Joshua Hanner just right on his bumper waiting for him to go. And he does get that jump, and Steve Gottschalk is right there with him. Barely going to give Justin enough space to get out to the outside and run his line. But Joshua Hanner is right there, and unfortunately, we had to talk about Tony, and he's dropping back. And Dan Shirley, who has been a little bit of a dark horse at this point, makes his way up into 4th.
Yeah, talking about Hanner there, he had, it looks like he had a little mind games during the restart. He got on a little early, then had, kind of a check back, and then they ended up going. So,
as Steve Gottschalk gets a little bit of the wall there coming out of 2. But these top 3 are pulling away right now. As Dan Shirley has, it's only a half second, but we're only 2 laps deep, and a half second in that time frame can be an eternity to make up.
Yeah, I'm looking at lap times right now. Steve Gottschalk just ran his fastest lap of the race. A bit faster than Justin Anderson, so he might have something to say for this before it's all said and done. He's our pole sitter. He's really fast here. I think I actually may have picked him as my winner pick.
You did.
But,
you did.
Yeah.
So you may have a vested interest in seeing him get to the lead.
Yeah. Look. I mean, I'm not going to have a favorite or anything, but I really do think that Steve Gottschalk is going to be a factor in this race before all is said and done.
Well, I mean, you can't discount him because he's been in that top group the entire night. But we also see the rookie of the league still there in the podium positions, as unfortunately I want to see Dan Shirley has dropped off the pace. It looks like he may have tagged the wall in the backstretch a little bit to fall from Tony Pandey, who is back up into 4th right now.
I mean, tagging the wall at this track is basically what I do every time. So I think we'll see a lot of tagging the wall tonight. It's just super slick.
It's easily one of the slickest tracks that I have ever run. I jumped into the practice, and we aren't going to talk about where my practice time was in reference to all of these guys. But I was faster than Nick Adams. That's the only thing I cared about. And, of course, Nick's not actually out in the comments tonight. Otherwise, I'm sure he'll let me know about that one. But right now, Dan Shirley has moved up 2 spots from his starting position. But Kevin Pearson, it almost looks like he's just lurking.
And I think that's, honestly, that could be a race-winning move. I mean, I don't think that, like, look, I mean, the guys up front are fast. Like, if you don't think you're faster than them, strategy doesn't just come down to, like, winning. You don't, like, if there are guys that are pushing their cars and running way faster than you, and you don't think you're faster than them, conserve your tires. Like, you might come in later and be able to pass them, later in the race on a long run. Do something different than they are.
But right now, that is the closest battle on track. Oh, with one exception, the battle for 21st, we are actually seeing Mr. Randy Pepper, Kevin Haas, and Don Warnke all battling up together as we are starting lap 57, to where we haven't quite hit midway, and we're starting to see a lot of battles heating up.
Yeah, this is a look. I'm gonna be completely honest. This is a grueling race. It's especially difficult in the drivers. I mean, you're doing a lot of turns here, and not easy turns. You're fighting the cars around this track. So, we are reaching the halfway point. A few laps here. They've got a long ways to go.
And without a doubt, we are just seeing everybody fall into a bit of a groove. Kevin Pearson's just working on keeping his gap right now to Dan Shirley, not pushing too hard, but I'm going to move back here as Adam Wood in his Whataburger car is looking to get around Ross Gage. And Ross goes a little bit high, gives Adam that lower line, but right now Brian McPheron's right behind him. Brandon Bernhardt is looking to make a move down low here. and doesn't quite have the entry, but Brian drops down, stop any kind of a run he may have, as Adam Wood makes the pass on Ross Gage as he goes a little bit high, probably just being a bit of a gentleman, but we may end up seeing a train just run by him here.
Yep.
But everybody spaces out a little bit, and now Adam Wood, a second and a quarter behind Johnny Downey, is going to look to close that gap down. But he has made up 7 places tonight. And we're starting to see actually a little bit of a kerfuffle back here. And I'll hopefully never use that word again while I'm broadcasting.
No, I appreciate it. You should keep using it.
But Brandon Bernhardt, Ross Gage, and we're starting to see a few lappers. Peter Norquay is making his way through there. But Andrew Burgess is looking to take advantage of Ross getting pushed up the track to get up there for that position. But I think Ross is probably doing the preferable thing there and using a bit of the higher line as Timothy St. Jean joins the party and is preparing to go down below Ross Gage. But Ross gets the lower line, stops the charge of Timothy St. Jean, and they kind of just fall in line because we have William Klingbill waiting there just to make a move there, as it looks like he's actually going to get below Tim and should be able to complete the pass through 1 and 2.
Tim had to check up a little bit there, being low, lost a lot of his momentum, and I really thought Klingbill was going to get that.
I did too.
He was not able to hold it.
We also have Jason Swan just lining up behind these guys, and it could just be in a few laps time. These guys are just gonna get one person below, and then everybody else is gonna make their way through as Ross closes the door on him, but that checks him up enough to where William Klingbill gets the pass done, gets around him, as does Jason Swan.
Well, yeah, but let's see now if they can get around Ross Gage. Ross was fighting hard for that position. Tim couldn't get around him, caused him to check up, so we might see Tim regaining this position. All said and done.
It's a very good possibility.
Taking a look here, it shows that John Gordon crashed. No caution.
Well, he may be far enough back.
Oh! That was actually, wow, John's went all the way around.
Let's go ahead and take a quick look.
Was
tags
here.
the wall coming out of 4, and it just must be that there were no cars coming and they were down far enough as, Randy Pepper also, I'm very much surprised that did not bring out a caution.
Yeah, a few weeks ago at Bristol, we have someone pull on the apron. That doesn't. That's how it goes sometimes.
As Jason Swan is getting himself positioned to get around Ross Gage right now. He has that lower line, has the nose underneath. Ross moves forward, and you called it. Tim gets the position from him just by getting to run the preferred line. As William Klingbill also gets his nose below, but Ross is fighting back and should be able to keep him down, but William Klingbill gets the move done. Now we're about to see if Rick Kohler, who's also part of this, can get himself through.
I think we should actually go back to the leaders right now. I think we've got a battle for the lead right now. Josh Hanner is right there. He actually lost a little bit back when I first said it, but
I'm gonna actually go right here. Is Johnny Downey has Johnny Edward in his sights. It's a little bit closer than the leaders right now. Oh, almost gets into the quarter panel. Thankfully, Netcode didn't decide to rear its ugly head there, but Adam Wood looks to capitalize on that. Looks like he may be able to have a run going down the front stretch and get his nose into that quarter panel and get a move done. And no, of course they decide to, fall in line. make it to where it's not nearly as exciting as I thought. But let's go get ourselves back up to the front, as Josh Hanner has closed down that gap on Justin Anderson, and looks like he is ready to pounce.
Yeah, he is very close right now, fighting for that position. I don't know if maybe Hanner was able to conserve some tires there, but he is definitely looking like the faster car right now. But look right there, Steve Gottschalk in third as well is lurking back there, and I would not be surprised to see him move up to the picture if these guys start battling.
As we have 75 laps in the books, and we're starting to see this is definitely the longest run that we have seen tonight, as we're at about 30 laps, and Hanner may not have been the fastest to start, but it looks like he was conserving his tires, gets himself below Justin Anderson, not by much, but he is definitely battling right now, gets himself down. But I'm actually going to, because I think this is probably going to be the best view of this, let's go in on board with Steve Gottschalk, who's getting the front row seat to this battle right now.
I just hope Steve's leaving enough room, and it looks like he is leaving enough room in case these guys get into each other that he can get through it unscathed.
Again, he's one of the veterans. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's just watching these two battle, burning through their tires, and he's giving them enough room, waiting, because one of the two of these guys is going to have to pit early than the others, as it looks like Josh Hanner actually gives a little bit, gets a little squirrely going into turn 4.
Yeah, at first I thought he was like trying to go a little bit higher on purpose to try to get a little bit of a run, but no, he's got a little swirly there, and could be an arrow thing.
I wouldn't doubt that, but it just definitely looks like Steve is just holding his line, running his race, waiting for these two, as Justin Anderson sends a little bit of a spark out there, as Josh Hanner gets around and takes the lead.
Oh, and Justin Anderson, I'm not sure if he's got loose. Yeah, he got loose.
Oh, also Ed Springer has taken out and brought out the caution. Oh, and that's unfortunate that Justin couldn't hold off Hanner for that little bit of time. Now he gets to dictate the restart. Oh, just coming out of 4, gets a little bit of the wall, and oh, that's one of those painful ones
that's called pulling a Nick Adams. No, I want to point out Joe Dinsmore commented, look at Steve, looking at Steve's line, he's faster in the top 2.
I do not deny that one at all, as we're seeing our leaders and everyone else just making their dive into the pits.
But I will say this, I mean, we don't know, like, it's hard to, like, Justin was getting a lot of pressure from, Justin, has to kind of adjust his line in order to keep Hanner behind him. So he may have been able to run a faster line if, Hanner wasn't under pressure. Hanner might be, able to run a faster line if he's not, having to try to pass someone. So it's hard to say exactly who is faster and who isn't. Oh, and Justin Henderson slightly overdrove his pit there.
Well, I'm looking at the angle that Steve Gottschalk is in. That may hurt him quite a bit there, as Josh Hanner wins the battle off pit road. Steve Gottschalk gets out in second.
Well, look. Josh Hanner won the battle off of pit road if he didn't do the closed circuits exclusive move.
Let's not talk about our inability to pit this past week. That hurts a lot still.
It hurts me too. That's why I have to joke about it.
Yeah, but there's nothing quite like losing a race because you get confused because somebody managed to beat you off pit road because he only took 2 tires that ultimately cost him the race. Sorry, Chris. But Josh Hanner does make it out as our leader with Steve Gottschalk, and Mr. Dan Shirley, our perennial podium finisher and new favorite guest in the booth, has positioned himself to chat with us for another week right now.
And I'm trying to... What happened to Justin Anderson? Am I just missing him on... Justin Anderson fell back to 15th after that.
I'm wondering... That is... Let me see if I can find that.
Justin must have been speeding on pit road or something, because his pit lane time were a little bit slower, but they were not that much slower, I don't think. I feel like there must have been a penalty involved.
That is the only thing that I can figure, and unfortunately, we both know a lot about that this week.
No comment. But I think Justin is someone we have seen repeatedly drive from the back of the field and back up to the front. So I'm not counting him out yet. I mean, he's running back out, but he's fast. He's really fast.
Well, but we also go a few weeks back, and I do believe it was Richmond that something similar happened. He got involved in an incident, got moved to the back, and then ultimately, in his battle to try to get himself back up, ended up having a few issues and staying back. I'm hoping that this is not his ultimate finishing position for one simple reason. He needs a pretty good finish to be able to pass Blake for the points this week.
Well, yeah, he does have next week as well, though, so...
Well, I wasn't going to bring that one up until next week, but... Honestly, I think with that, we've got... That's going to make it to where Dan Shirley has easily... He's going to be my pick for next week at COTA. Though, I'm going to stick with... I hate that track. It's 3 separate tracks in one lap, and it's... None of them
honestly,
are fun.
I ran with you guys yesterday as we're pace car peels off. That is the track I've never hated the track.
As Josh Hanner gets a great jump over Steve Gottschalk. He has 4, at least 4 car lengths over Steve Gottschalk right now. And he's in command of this as, Kevin Pearson is making an appearance, but looks like he may have had a little contact with Tony Pandey there and drops a little bit, but Johnny Downey gives up the position, and now it's Kevin's turn to track down these leaders with 86 laps down.
You know, one thing I want to compliment these guys. What I've seen, something I've seen an improvement over the past few weeks. And that's like on the restarts. Like I feel like for the first half of the season, we'd have a restart, and they'd be side by side. They try to race really hard on the outside, and they'd end up getting collected. We have like 5-7 cautions a race. They've been really good about like taking the positions they can get, like getting in line, like finding opportunities instead of like trying to force everything in the restarts. It's been a massive improvement for the entire field over the past few weeks.
I mean, right now we're seeing Steve Gottschalk get himself positioned, ready to pass Josh Hanner. And as we've seen, Mr. Hanner has not had the short run pace. We saw him take over the lead because he conserved the tires. And Steve has been the same way, but as we're about to reach 35 laps to go, these guys may just be battling for position, figuring somebody's going to get a little antsy, we're going to get another caution, and having that first, being able to control the restart may be the best thing for them.
Yeah, and I think at this point, like, and Ed Springer has some issues in front of our leaders here, some issues, but so far everyone has gotten around. But Ed Springer's car is smoking.
Wondering what happened there as Dan Shirley gets himself back up into 4th position. But Tony Pandey is not going away.
Yeah, Tony is right there, kind of searching, trying to find something that he can get advantage from picking up position.
And we have not seen the same kind of gap that the leader had taken over at the beginning of these restarts, because I think they're just preparing, thinking they may be going green for the rest of this run.
Right, and even if a caution comes out, I think if a caution comes out from this point, you might start seeing some of the interesting strategies come up. You might see guys that try to stay out. Look, we've seen that guys stay out, it doesn't work out for them. But imagine if someone like Justin Anderson stays out. Someone who, caution is out. We're going to get our answer.
Mr. St. Jean. That is not just gets a little antsy on the throttle there.
I think that was some netcode stuff going on there, in my opinion. I have to take another look at it, but
let
way
me
you shot off
let me
like
do
that.
this. Let's get a little closer to the action here. 'Cause that's not what I wanted to happen. No.
No, you're right. You're right. That was just he got loose, and it was well, that's unfortunate for him, but man, we're gonna see some pit strategy stuff here.
This is where it gets real interesting, because this has been a relatively short run. And
yeah, we are at 13 laps on these tires. Look, I mean, after 10 laps or so, these
Wait
tires...
a second. I gotta check this just because it's Adam the Woo. It looks like it's saying he crashed.
I think he just had to check up big time because he passed the guys he went. Yeah, passed. Yeah.
I wanted something to mess with him on Friday about.
We can still mess with him.
Because crashing under caution is a closed circuit thing.
Right.
Not a first response.
Or not being able to enter pit road, or speeding on pit road.
You know what? I wasn't going to go there. I was going to more go for teammates wrecking each other under caution.
Oh, I know. I've been a part of all of those things. So.
As it looks like Adam gets the lucky dog and makes its way around, but right now, just because because it's working so well right now.
So
we have 30 laps to go.
Well, hey, look, I want to talk about some guys that did pit. We had Johnny, and coming off pit road first, guys who pitted. Johnny Downey, followed by Jason Swan, Brian McBaron, William Klingbeil, Rick Kohler, Johnny Edwards, Timothy St. Jean, all just pitted. So they're going to have fresh tires. That is not insignificant for a couple of reasons. First, they're going to be faster. They're going to have some more speed than they did on those older tires. But that also moves Justin Anderson up to 8.
And for him, that is going to be a fight that I'm looking forward to seeing, because he is right now. He's going to be a threat for everyone in front of them, because everybody's got the same age of tires.
Yep.
And we're going to definitely see a few people, as we still have one more lap. That's good.
Yeah, I say every week, I want to see the best guys up there racing for a win. Look, Josh Hanner's my teammate. I think you guys saw at Daytona how I broke my professionalism and basically cheering him on. Look, I would love to see Joshua Hanner win this race. It's great for my racing team, but I want to see him beat the best people on the track. I want to see Justin Anderson up there racing for the win. I want to see Steve Gottschalk up there, who has been consistently really fast, up there racing for the win. Steve Gottschalk has had the second fastest lap of the race so far. I want to see Daniel Shirley up there. I want to see Tony Pandey up there. Pearson up there. I want to see the best drivers racing for the win, so that there's no like asterisk next to the the win. It should be like Josh Hanner won, Justin Anderson won, just outright. Like I mean, let's get the best guys up there. Justin, get up there, race for the win. Blake, go ahead and join the race. Make up the 80-something laps you've missed, and same with you, Joe. Let's get the best guys up there, and let's see who's going to win this race.
Honestly, this is not discounting the fact that Blake is missing tonight. We are still seeing a lot of guys that are constantly fighting up there. But we do have a few new faces. We do have Steve Gottschalk, who's always in contention. We have Josh Hanner, who, since he's joined, has been constantly fast. But we also have Dan Shirley, who is right now going to be a huge threat to Hanner. Kevin Pearson is going to be a threat because he has been fast all night.
And Dan Shirley's been on a streak recently. We've talked to him a lot recently.
As Hanner gets the jump, but not nearly what it was last time, as Dan Shirley has that lower line over Tony Pandey, and him keeping him up may be able to give Kevin Pearson that ability to get down below and get himself up into fourth and back up into fighting where he was to start this race.
Yeah, Hanner actually did have a decent restart there. It didn't look like a start, but he's pulled away to a decent lead here.
Well, let's talk about our sixth-place runner, Justin Anderson.
Justin Anderson. We have spinning.
We have, and it looks like Jason Swan just gets loose coming off the corner, and the safer barrier did its job there, which is strange for iRacing.
Well, hey, I'm watching these leaders. Steve Gottschalk is closing that gap. He has been moving in a hurry. He was. So his last lap, he was a little bit slower than Hanner, but the previous lap, he was about 2/10 faster than Hanner. Made up some time there as Justin Anderson just tagged the ball a little bit, looked like.
But right now, Steve Gottschalk, I think it's going to be what we've been saying about him all night. He's just waiting to pounce.
Yeah, you have to wonder how much of this is tire conservation on both parts. Like, is Joshua Hanner serving his tires? Steve Gottschalk serving his tires? And then you get the guys earlier, like at 94. So far Johnny Downey is the first one to come out. He's up to 9th. But is he going to start gaining some positions as these tires wear down more?
And it's a great possibility. We only have 23 to go, and right now this looks like it may be, again, law of averages. We should be able to go green for the rest of the race. And Tony Pandey's putting a little bit of pressure on Dan Shirley, and he's just, it looks like Dan's just conserving his tires because he knows that he's going to still be behind him. He's going to have to put together an amazing run to get around. But Justin Anderson in 5th is doing the exact same thing. He's been fast all night. He's a little bit slower than the leaders, as Josh Hanner does have the fastest lap last lap. And just quietly, they're spacing themselves out. But I'm going to jump back here because we're starting to see a little bit of a pack form here as Johnny Downey is looking to get around Peter Nordquay. And Brandon Bernhardt is right on Kevin Pearson as Kevin Pearson actually drops down, gives Brandon the position, but loses a lot of momentum. And that's going to give the rest of this pack an opportunity to get around him. As we see Johnny Edward get down below Peter Norquay, get the move done, but him getting moved up into that mid-line. I was hoping that Mr. Downey would make his way and stay low, but Johnny Edwards trying the outside pass?
Yeah, it looks like he's going to make it work, too.
That's an original line for a pass tonight.
Yeah, look, I'm watching these guys like Johnny Edwards, Johnny Downey, who have fresh tires. You know, Johnny Edwards up to 7th now. The tires are going to start equalizing at some point. It's not going to just be, oh, we have fresher tires.
Oh, it's William Klingbill, and how is that not? Okay, hold on. And Brian McPherson get tangled up. Ah, they managed to hold on to it where that did not bring out our caution.
That was incredible.
That was a feat of driving right there, and that keeps us green as Johnny Downey is mowing through the field right now. He is up into 8th position and just setting his sights farther forward.
Look, also want to talk about Johnny Edward, who his teammate is now running 6th behind Justin Anderson, and is faster than Justin as well. Actually ran this last lap. Looks like he may have ran the fastest lap on the track this past lap. Him and Johnny Downey. But Johnny Edward is moving up through the field right now.
As he takes over from Justin Anderson, moving him back into 6th, with Brandon Bernhardt right on his bumper, and Johnny Downey just sitting there waiting to pounce. But with 14 to go, I'm wondering if Justin was just murdering his tires to get himself up farther in the field, and now he's just running out of rubber.
Yeah, I mean, that's entirely a possibility. I mean, again, though, I mean, you know, Johnny Edward has fresh tires right now. I mean, I think Johnny can probably pass anyone on the track right now, either Johnny. You know, but they're having to get to the field.
As he makes the move on Justin Anderson, as Brandon Bernhardt is going to take advantage of Justin getting moved up a little bit on the track, get the position going into 1, and right now he is going to make the pass and move Justin back into 6th or 8th.
Yeah, I'm watching these leaders right now. I've been watching them. You know, we're 11 laps to go right now as they cross the start-finish line, and the gap stayed about the same. I mean, I can't say which driver is faster right now. It's hard to say. It seems like every time Steve Godchaux will close that gap, Joshua Hanner will pull up a little bit more, and it's like they're just purposely pacing each other right now, trying to get to the end of the race, and then possibly we'll see Steve Godchaux here pounce. But man, this has been a great battle watching these guys just right here together, kind of away from the rest of the field, just fighting each other.
I want to move back here as Timothy St. Jean, involved in an incident, stays out on the first caution, unlike everyone else, has moved his way up into 10th with 9 laps to go, and he's setting his sights on Andrew Burgess and Justin Anderson.
That's those fresh tires right there. I mean, he's up 12 spots from the start of the race. Tires make a big difference here, and it's showing right now as he's going through a lot of the guys who have older tires.
And again, he had those tires to use, and it's paying dividends to have those extra tires available to him. But right now, I'm going to go back up to the front as Steve Gottschalk, with 8 to go, is just waiting.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Oh. Unfortunately, did it just happen to him again? Oh, he was involved in something far in front of him. Oh, there is the big one, and oh, this is gonna make this lead interesting.
Yeah, look. This
wanna
is
get a-
not what.
I want to get a better view of this. Oh!
Oh my god!
Oh!
What is this car doing?
I'm gonna go back to this with the blimp again. Oh, just gets spun and... Gotta love those iRacing physics right there.
Oh, iRacing
As
physics are
our...
great until there's an
I'm sorry,
accident.
I gotta go in. Our leaders have entered the pits.
Wow. Honestly, with this few laps ago, look, I know their tires were worn. I'm genuinely surprised by this. But it looks like, for the most part, most of the guys are pitting here. So this is not going to hurt our leaders, I don't think. But currently, Rick Poehler is showing as the leader.
And, I mean, that's an advantage of staying out right now, but we have 6 to go. As Josh Hanner's still up on the jacks, gets himself back out. As Steve Gottschalk manages to keep his second position. And Dan Shirley is right there in the battle and poised to chat with us for another week.
Yeah, I mean, barring any weird accidents like we just saw there.
That was absolutely brutal, and I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to see it again.
Hey, is there any way we can do the end car for Johnny Downey there? I think that was Johnny Downey was like crazy.
Yes, we can. And I will warn, this is probably... Why did you go to Scenic? Hold on. Let's try that again. I may have missed a click there. As this is going to be vomit-inducing.
Wasn't Johnny Downey? Who was it? Was it,
That was Johnny Edward.
Oh, and Johnny Edwards still fifth after that.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I couldn't find him. I kind of figured he was... Oh, God. That... Yeah.
Only in iRacing can you have that happen and still end up currently running fifth.
I kind of want to get the gyro cam out of this one. Making that thing work overtime.
Yeah, I think we broke the gyro.
But let's get ourselves back as we are 5 laps to go. This is going to come close to being...
Being a green-white checkered?
Yeah. As
Yeah,
the pace car's not off. May get one extra lap in comparison to that, but...
Yeah, I think... Look, I think Rick Kohler here was expecting more people to stay out. He's a sitting duck right now, but this could hurt Hanner massively because Steve Gottschalk, who he's been battling with, is starting on the inside. This is not at all what Hanner wanted to have happen. He probably wanted, if he knew he was going to stay out, he probably wanted 2 people to stay out so he could be on the inside row. This is not going to be good for him.
Honestly, I can go the opposite direction on that one and say that's going to hurt Steve Gottschalk more because that inside line, while he may be able to get the jump, he's going to be slower going in through turn 1 and 2.
Well, yeah, but you got to think, like, and we're going to see how it plays out, so I'm willing to put money on this. But, look, I mean, you got to talk about the fact that, again, the leader controls the restart. Rick Kohler's going to control the restart. Steve Gottschalk will be right there behind him, maybe able to take second position right there on the restart, and then going into 1 and 2, possibly be side by side with Josh Hanner. That's ultimately the battle there. Now, if Rick Kohler does not get a good restart here, then potentially that's going to play into Josh Hanner's.
Well, we have to look at it this way. This is the first time we're getting to see Rick Kohler control a restart.
True.
Does he have the same kind of games that our normal leaders have in their repertoire? Because we know Justin, Blake, and Josh all have little things that they do to try to get that best restart over the person outside of them. And right now, this is the first time we get to see Rick be that first person to go once the pace car's in. And we are going to only have 2 laps.
And look, I'm not trying to say that Rick. I've raced Rick. Rick's a very clean and good driver. Rick is on older tires right now. He might get run over here, and we might end up with a big pileup of the field. And we might end up with guys like Johnny Edwards, Tony Pandey, Adam Wood, Andrew Burgess, who have not really. Tony Pandey was a factor, but yeah.
Pace car is off, and we're just waiting for Rick to go ahead and start this pack. He looks like he may be waiting for the green flag as he goes, and Josh Hanner gets a good jump with Dan Shirley right behind him. These two may be able to get around Steve Gottschalk, but they are just gonna run right past Rick Kohler. And
man, Dan Shirley is right there.
Oh, and he has had better.
Oh, we're spinning.
As
Caution
caution is out, and Tony Pandon looks to be responsible for this one. Oh, he was in the middle, 3 wide. And Johnny Edward gets himself up into him, and there's not much you can do. Dover is wide enough to go 3 wide, but not with that kind of a speed differential.
Well, hey, we got a green-white checker coming.
We do have a green-white checker coming, and luckily everybody made the dive into the pits. Hopefully everybody has enough fuel to get themselves through all of this. And
I would
luckily,
they at least took a splash there. I can't imagine they wouldn't.
As Adam Wood crashed.
Might just be checking up
again. It's just going weird on us.
Yeah, you can't trust that when we're in the
I know. It's one of those things that I'm kind of being hopeful that I have something to make fun of him for.
That's fair.
They were just checking up, waiting for the pace car to get past. One day, Adam, we will get to see some form of massive error under caution. One day. But this is going to make it to where, well, we almost got it this last time, but it's a 2-lap shootout, and we just got to see Dan Shirley put a massive run on Josh Hanner, and this could make this very interesting, to where I may be making fun of Adam Wood, but he's currently running in 5th.
Yeah, up 11 spots. I would imagine, again, no offense to Rick Kohler, have a ton of respect for the guy, but on older tires, I would imagine that he's going to be a sitting duck from Wood here. So we're looking at, assuming no one passes Adam, top 4 here for Adam, maybe more. And we'll see what happens on the restart here.
Well, we'll get to see. He does have that inside line to where if both Hanner and Steve get the good jump, that outside line could be in deep trouble, because honestly, we've only got to see 1 pass on the outside tonight. Not saying there hasn't been more, but we've got to see all the good ones have been on the inside.
I've always preferred restarting in 3rd regardless, just because you have to be so careful when you're running 2nd to not get jump the restart or anything. Whereas when you're in 3rd, you're just following the guy in front of you. It's really easy. It's just simply like watching you go, and it's a lot easier than having to run in 2nd and try to look over and guess when they're going to go.
But right now, everybody's getting formed up, and we do have a few surprises up towards the front. And Rick, being on that outside, being up 10 positions, even if he holds on to the top 10, this is still a great run for him. And the fact that we got the caution, unfortunately, is probably hurting him. He probably would have ended up in the top 5 because he could have held everybody off for 2 laps.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think this is a good move for him overall. It's again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Not a race-winning move. Now, if more people have pitted or stayed out, I mean, he possibly been in a better position. But again, it's all about like, are you going to finish higher than what your potential is? Like, I mean, I think this could be a good run for him. But man, here we're going. We're about. I think the lights and pace car are off. I don't know about you, man. My heart's pounding right now. This is stressful.
And I can't imagine right now these two guys on the front row how sweaty their hands are, knowing that they're 2 laps away from glory, and they've got the likes of Steve Gottschalk right behind them, ready to take it away from them.
Yeah, we know Steve has been so fast. But we saw in that last restart there, Team Shirley's fast too. We haven't talked about him a lot. He has been there. Pace car's about to peel off here. Whew! This is gonna be a fun finish of the race, I think.
I definitely agree with that one, and as Dan is a little further forward than anybody else has been tonight, as Hanner goes ahead, gets his jump, and he and Dan get a great jump as Dan looks low early, but they have opened up over a half-second gap over Steve Gottschalk. That's going to be difficult for him to come over as Dan Shirley looks low, but Hanner has him covered for now.
Yeah, they are right there together. Dan Shirley has had some incredible short run speed.
Oh, as we get the white flag, and caution is out again. And it's Tony Pandey.
I think caution came out before they crossed the line. I think we might have...
As we had more people going 3 wide. Oh, okay, that's a new one.
What?
That's a new one. He got stuck between the safer barriers. And that's unfortunate. Tony has been great all night. And
honestly, with that kind of impact there, I feel bad for the fans in the stands.
Well, they didn't get a souvenir piece of the car.
And all the cars are currently waiting on the pace car to them. They are crawling around at a glacial pace right now.
As there is the pace car, and they get moving again.
Honestly, for a little while, that was like watching a TNT race. So slow.
Oh, we're not that bad. We have less cautions.
So we're gonna have another green-white checkered here. Yeah.
This is the last attempt.
I hate that happened there because that battle for the lead was incredible. I hope that'll happen again because that was.
But let's note one thing right here. Because of that, we have another car lurking in the shadows.
Yeah, Justin Anderson's running 5th here. We know he has been insanely fast. Led a ton of this race, but with 2 laps to go at such a short track, I think unless there is some sort of, issue with the leaders, like they start wrecking or something, I do not think that Justin will be able to get up there to them. But
he has the inside line. He has the inside line.
Absolutely, he does, and that could potentially get him up to a 3rd, possibly 4th place finish. But I don't see him battling for the lead. Not with just 2 laps. I think 5 laps, we tell a different story.
Well, we also look as in our top 5, we have 3 members of Steel Horse Racing.
That's a good point, but look, I mean, it's not like they're going to say, "Hey, just go on by us." You get Dan Shirley, Steve Gottschalk. They want to win this race too, so they're going to go up there and they're going to fight for the win.
Honestly, why can't the lights go off now? I desperately want this thing to go back to green because the last 2 restarts have been nail-biting.
Yeah, honestly, if we keep having restarts like this might be what ends up killing me. That last restart was incredible.
At least we aren't Nick, who may have a heart attack at any point during the broadcasts.
Or an aneurysm. I'm not sure which of them first. So, on that note, we should be lining up after cross the finish line here, and then we'll be one lap to go before we go green.
And no matter what, this is the last attempt. So if we do get a caution on this first lap, whoever's in first will be taking home the win tonight.
Yep. Here we go. As they're coming around on this last pace lap, I honestly think that it's Hanner's race to lose at this point, being able to control the restart. But man, Daniel Shirley did have a great restart that last time. I mean, honestly, probably the greatest second place restart I've seen all season.
And he seemed to have Hanner timed perfectly. And the two of them just got well out in front of third place with Steve Gottschalk. And, we're just sitting here waiting as the pace car is about to make its dive into the pits.
Hanner has to try something different here on his restart, because what he did last time did not work. Sure, he kept the lead, but he needs to get out to a bigger gap here. As we see, once again, Daniel Shirley pulling out ahead.
And he's just waiting as Hanner gets it. It's a little bit better of a jump, but again, I think these two are just going to pull off as Steve Gottschalk keeps Adam Wood up in the line, leaving the door open for Justin Anderson.
Oh, Dan Shirley had a great run.
He has a great run there, and he is going to get down below Josh Hanner and get the pass done going into the front stretch. We cross the line, so we are finishing after this lap. But Dan Shirley gets an amazing run off of two and gets the job done, as Josh Hanner is not close enough to be able to make a move, as Dan slams the door shut and will be coming across the line for the win. Dan Shirley wins his first one this year since Daytona Road Course.
That last lap there, Hanner actually ran the fastest lap of the race.
It just wasn't enough.
Wow, what a finish. Dan Shirley, someone we've been saying for a long time, was going to be a factor. And here he won the race. I mean, we've been calling it for a long time.
He made me right this week on the podcast. Oh, but Dan Shirley is our winner, and he's not going to put on a show? What?
Oh, no burnout.
Oh, come on. We're going to have to yell at him for that one. But let's go ahead, bring up our results for the night. Dan Shirley is our winner with Joshua Hanner in second. Adam Wood in third. Wait, what? We missed that one. Well,
yeah, we were so close to the leaders.
Now he has something up on Larry, because they're both
he's
third place
tied
finishing.
with Larry. I mean,
but we had Steve Gottschalk in fourth, Justin Anderson fifth, that's a great run after whatever happened to him in pit road. Peter Norquay in sixth, Andrew Burgess seventh, Kevin Pearson eighth, ninth was Brandon Bernhardt, 10th was Johnny Edward.
In 11th, we had Johnny Downey. 12th, Rick Poehler. 13th, John Gordon. 14th, William Queenbill. 15th, Jason Swan. 16th, Kevin Haas. 17th, Don Warnke. 18th, Brian McFerrin. And in 19th, we had Tony Pandon. 20th, Timothy St. Jean. 21st, Ed Springer. 22nd, Ross Gage. 23rd, Randy Pepper. and in 24th, Mike Burgess.
All right, let's go ahead and, for the first time in a long time, and it's nice to say after a few weeks of bringing him up second or third, bringing in Dan Shirley. Mr. Shirley, it's nice to get to talk to you first this week.
Evening, gentlemen. Josh, that win was for you, for your confidence there on Friday. I was watching the podcast.
I appreciate it. I've been waiting for this for quite a while.
Yeah, I've heard that I've been an often selection of yours, so it was time to stop letting you down.
No, you and Josh Hanner gave us some of the best entertainment that we have had in a while for these last few races, with the exception of the 3 wide at Kansas. But
which Josh was a part of as well.
What was going through your mind when you saw that opportunity to get it below Hanner with 2 to go?
Objective number 1 was to make it stick and not put us both in the wall. But really that all stemmed, I think, from the restart. We had that first green-white checkered attempt, and I think we learned a little bit about each other on those restarts. So I think we were both, trying to play little mind games there, and I'll be interested to go back and watch it from the exterior and see how that looked. But I could tell we were both playing with the throttle to try to maximize the advantage. So, he ended up getting the better of me there, but I think I just got a better turn 1 and 2 entry, and that really just set me up with the momentum to be able to stick a nose in, and that's, on the last 2 laps of the race. That's all you need, is that nose, and then you can go from there.
And
yeah, so I want to ask you, you had 2 restarts in a row with him, starting on his outside, and we've seen here that the outside's at such a disadvantage. The first restart, right before the green white, or I guess the first green white checker, you were right there with him. But this second one, it feels like you stuck it a lot better. You were right directly there behind him the entire time. What did you do different, first of all, than everyone else, and also on that second green white checker? What was able to propel you to the win there on that restart?
Well, on the restart, there was an element of definitely guesswork. You might call it luck in there, of stabbing the throttle at the correct time when he was actually doing his start. So, at that point, you kind of have to take a few shots. But yeah, and I don't know. I guess there's probably a fairly decent draft here, so I think that helped. It's all those little things that kind of combine to be able to make a move right there at the end. I don't know how hard he had pushed his tires on those previous laps since we had pitted, and as I'm sure you guys will find out from talking to everybody, tires were everything tonight. You go back and look at my first probably 70 or 80 laps, I was just cruising because, you could burn through those tires in 15 laps and you would be toast. So, 6, 7 laps made a huge difference on the tires, where other tracks, you tend to get a few more laps out of it.
so I have to ask, did you plan your fuel around being able to make it a few extra laps, or was it just a little bit of luck?
So that thought did enter my mind, and I mentioned something to the group, my team chat, but they basically called it correctly that, we would have had enough fuel, regardless of if we had that last stop or not. So, by getting that yellow flag with 4 laps to go or 5 laps to go, able to come in and make sure that everything was good. But I would have been good if we had not had that stop.
That was one of the things that I'll admit I was worried about last time I ran Dover. It was a green-white checkered finish, and I was lucky to make it to the end. So it always worries me just a little bit.
But hey, man, once you've learned that lesson, it's always in the front of your mind, so it shouldn't happen again.
But great run tonight. I thank you for making me correct for, I think, the first time since we started the podcast.
Well, happy to get you on the scoreboard. So, rewarding your confidence, like I said. But really fair play to Hanner. That was a really good race. Ran really clean. Yeah, Steve had a great race. Justin unfortunately got a penalty. He was able to work his way back up, but Blake was absent tonight, so it was really good just to kind of take advantage of the situation that was in front of me, and I guess this is my first Cup win. So
I thought you had the win at Daytona Road.
I was actually P2 on that. Justin went ahead and took that. I took P1 there. Yeah.
I really thought you won that race.
I had forgotten so long ago, but it's good to see finally punch that win. Coming up Dakota next week. How are you feeling?
I was shaking down the truck today at Circuit of the Americas. So since we do have the sportsman race there on Wednesday, and really just seeing how these things are, the trucks and the stock cars are getting around that place, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for everyone. So it's going to be a lot about just keeping it pointed in the right direction and maybe giving up some speed to work within your risk tolerance. So I always feel good at the road courses. So I'm hoping to make it 2 in a row, of course. But Justin will be tough as usual, and I don't think we've seen Hanner on a road course yet. So be very interested to see what he brings to the table when we're turning right as well as left.
I will say I have, and I'm not going to comment too much, but let's just say you don't have that much to worry about.
Oh, well, teammate might be trying to get in my head here and play some psychological games.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Well, he was faster than I was yesterday, but that's not saying a lot.
But
well, hey man, it was good talking to you. Another great run, and really happy to see you get the win here, man.
Well, I appreciate it. These podiums over the past month or so, it just feels like it's been building to this. So, like I said, the situation kind of broke in my favor tonight. And it was a really good race with Hanner, so glad I could hopefully provide some good viewing there on the broadcast.
Well, we enjoyed watching it, and you know what? To me, that's all that matters. I'm kidding. No, that was you guys gave us some amazing entertainment tonight.
What we're here for. We'll catch you gentlemen at Circuit of the Americas.
Sounds great, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, another staple of the booth recently. Let's go ahead and bring up Mr. Hanner.
Hey, Josh Hanner, it's Carl and Josh Laston in the booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Hey, man. First of all, great run by you tonight. We've seen you come out of the gate and just be incredible with the past 4 weeks. But, man, what a crazy finish there. I wanted to ask you specifically about the restarts. It looks like on that first green-white checker, you got a really good jump on Dane Shirley there. What do you think happened on that second restart that enabled him to stay right behind you?
Well, on the first one, I got a good jump, but he was able to hold it, looked like wide open out of 2 on the coming up to speed lap, and I just couldn't. So I knew when we got to the second one, if I didn't nail that turn, he was going to get me, and sure enough, he did. I could have blocked a little more, but I was afraid of taking us both out. So, but congrats to him, man. He timed that perfect, and I'm glad he won it.
So we have to ask, we were watching you throughout a lot of the race, especially early in the race. It seemed like you didn't quite have the speed to keep up with Steve and Justin. Was that you just playing conservative, or was that just not being able to keep pace with them?
Well, the very beginning, it took me a while to clear Kevin Pearson. That kind of held me up, and I burned a little bit of my tires doing it. And then, the rest of the race, I was just being conservative. I spent the week practicing longer runs. I didn't really focus on short runs at all. I felt like that paid off on that one really long run we got, where me and Justin got to race for a while. I could tell I was faster than him on the exit of the turns. Looked like his right rear was giving him trouble.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about the bigger picture here. We were just talking about Circuit of the Americas. I know I ran some laps with you yesterday there. You know, what is your strategy going in? Do you think that you have a shot at winning? Do you need points racing for Circuit of the Americas?
Oh, I have absolutely zero shot of winning that race. I'm just gonna go and try to keep the car in one piece and on the track, and hopefully get a top 10 out of it.
Well, your closed circuit racing bonus check is based on the condition of your car to the race. So that's a good strategy to have.
Well, I think I'd have to look, but I think I've had no incidents so far, so that's pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's solid. So far, Nick Adams has not checked. Actually, he owes us money. But you've been clean.
Yeah,
I'm
zero
doing
incidents
my
so
best,
far.
man. Doing my best, boss man.
But no, another strong finish, another podium. Unfortunately, the streak ended at 3 in a row, but definitely 4 podiums in a row. It's another voice to be reckoned with in the AOL Cup Series.
Yeah, well, all good things have to come to an end. You can't win them all, right? I'm super happy for Dan, though. I really like racing with him. I like his racing style. He's a solid driver, so it's awesome to see him get a win in such a dramatic fashion.
It was definitely
Yeah,
some of the
absolutely.
best racing that we've had, and great to watch, and I would hope fun to run.
Oh, that was a lot of fun. I traditionally do not like this track, but felt good tonight. That was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, hey, another good finish, man. We're looking forward to seeing what you can do next week, and once the points get released, and we'll see where you stand, and hopefully see what we can do to get you into the chase here.
We'll try, man. I'll give it a shot.
All right. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, we have to. We absolutely have to bring in Mr. Adam Wood. If
Do
nothing,
we?
quickly. He's
All
the
right.
one that normally wants to bring you in when you're in third, so we have to.
All right. That's fair.
Mr. Wood, this is Josh and Carl in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I got a copy, man.
Hi, Adam.
How's it going?
So
Hey,
now,
we weren't sorry, we weren't paying attention to you at all. We were watching the leaders. How the hell did you get third?
Be in the right place at the right time after my computer decided to cut off during a pit stop.
wait, what?
Yeah, so the pit stop around like lap 80, 90, no, before 80, like 70 something. That green flags or that wreck, yeah, as I was in my iRacing hung up and I had to exit VR, enter back into VR, wait for iRacing to do everything it does, and come back into the race. I was 1 lap down and was able to get a lucky dog and then just fought my way back up.
We saw you taking the lucky dog there. I didn't know what had happened.
Yeah,
That is
it was
wild.
terrible. I was cursing the world at that point in time.
That's all. That's gonna rank up there with steering wheel falling off, a chair falling off. That my VR turned off.
No, iRacing hung. My VR was fine. iRacing went blank and just stalled, and I had to wait for it to unhang, and give me the green light on in the UI so I can actually start loading back in. So it was fun times, man. One of those things that dejects you while you're in the middle of the race and you're just really pissed off. I had a long run car. I messed up on my qual run and got me back there in the back. So I focused on saving my tires. And then right as we were starting to pick people off, there would be a wreck. So we couldn't get the full length and come back through. So we were hovering in the bottom top 10 for the most of the race.
So I have to ask, does this mean that you are going to start claiming that you got a third place once?
No, I don't do that. I got to win once. So
Oh yeah. You know, and getting a win is something worth.
yeah, I can find. I just need to get a win within the AOLL blanket series, so then I could have a little bit more foothold than just saying I won, but it was in a different league than AOLL.
Well, no
Hey,
less.
well,
Larry's got competition now that it's not as special.
Yeah, I give him a run for his money. I wish he could have been here tonight. Talk to him. I'm gonna check in to see how everything is going with him. But he wanted to race tonight.
Yeah, we were kind of
well,
wondering where he was, but he lost out on what was an absolutely amazing race for everyone, and happy to it. Don't watch the broadcast. We may have been making fun of you a little bit during the race.
No, he had personal issues that came up. But yeah, but no, man, it was a blast. Me and Johnny, Rick, Ross, we were all working together throughout the race, trying to manage our tires and like I think it was Johnny Edwards, Kevin Pearson, and a few others that were in front of us. They were almost a straightaway ahead of us. And then once we said, "All right, let's go," we started rolling, and we would freight train them, and we'd make up a 4 or 5 second gap on them, and then as soon as we would like get to their bumpers and get past one or two of them, caution would come out, so we couldn't really freight train up our way to the front there.
No, it was a great run. Unfortunately, we didn't get to cover you all that much, but
Oh, I trust me. I wasn't coverage worthy until that last lap with me and Steve. That was a blast. I didn't think I was going to be able to pass him there on third to get third, being on the outside there on the restart. But I got a heck of a restart, and I just stayed there and tried to pinch him down as much as possible so he couldn't have a good run off the corner. And I smacked the wall coming out of turn 2 on the second to last lap. Thought it was over with. I just let it slide all the way through 3 and 4. He moved up. Good thing there was no net code because I could have reached out and touched his car because we were literally door to door at that point. I don't think you could have put a sheet of paper in between our cars in the middle of 3 and 4. It was fantastic. And I was able to clear him coming out of the corner. He had to slow down to get off me. And then at that point, I was back on the throttle while he was slowing down. I was able to clear him. And I just couldn't make any mistakes after that because I know Steve would have capitalized right there. And Justin was right behind him trying to capitalize on Steve's mistakes.
no, it was a great run. Great to see you on the podium, but we need you to get that win. Or at least a second.
Yeah, I was hoping, and I was second fast of the night going into practice, and I was hoping for a really good top 5 qualifying. And I don't know what happened on my first lap. It felt fast to me, but I was 4 tenths off what I was. And then my second lap, I smacked the wall coming out of 2. So, and then I started way back in the pack. So it was just kind of heartbreaking to, be one of the fastest there in qual or in practice and then, mess up that badly in qual.
Well, it was a great recovery run, so great job tonight. What do you got for Coda?
Absolutely nothing. I'm not sure if I'm going to be running it. Me and Cody Leland got weekend tickets, so I know I'm going on Saturday because they have all the practices happen on Saturday, and then both the Xfinity and the truck race will be happening. Plus, I think he said, I think there's a Lamborghini style race going on as well there that day. So there's 3 races plus the Cup cars will be out there practicing. So I know I'm going to be there Saturday. I'm just not sure if I'm going to be out there on Sunday as well with them.
A likely excuse, but we'll accept it.
Well, I have a really good chance to practice on Tuesday night in the IVRL league, so I'll be running it there. So I'll have lots of laps underneath my belt before then. So it's not an excuse of me missing it because I don't want to race it, but I'll have some decent practice underneath my belt.
All right, we look forward to hopefully seeing you Sunday, but we'll understand if you don't.
I got you, man. Well, thanks for the broadcasting and being awesome up there here with the Ghost Fire Media team.
We enjoy it, so it's not work.
I feel you on that one. You guys have a good night.
Yep, you too. All right, so that just about does it for us here tonight at Dover. Make sure check us out next week starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. We will be at the Circuit of the Americas, running road, getting to see these guys turn right for once. On Wednesday night, I was going to say, you've got that one.
Yeah, I'll be covering Wednesday night, but I won't be here for Sunday in the Cup. So you have fun with that.
Yeah, everybody's going to be real angry at you for being in the Dominican. You jerk.
I'll be sure to have a drink for every person in the league.
Or, yeah, you will. But Wednesday night, we will have Circuit of the Americas in the AOL Sportsman Series. Thursday night, the AOL TNT Series will be at Watkins Glen, so it's going to be a long week of road racing. And Tuesday night, the IVRL will be at the Circuit of the Americas. So join us where you can, and you'll get to see a little bit more interesting of racing styles, and hopefully we'll get to see some new faces at the front.
Yeah, I mean, I think we certainly could see some new faces, especially with Blake Gordon being out. Justin Anderson's gonna be a favorite. Dan Shirley's gonna be a favorite. But, there could be a lot of guys that could potentially run really well there. I'm really excited to see it when I watch it when it turns.
And hopefully we'll get Mr. Dinsmore back, because I know he is going to be one of those front runners. And I'm looking to see some good hard racing around what is easily going to be the most technical circuit that these guys will run this year. But that just about does it for us. We look forward to seeing you at some point in the coming week on the Ghostfire Media Network.